This week on the podcast, we are joined by the resident historian of the podcast, TheChocolade, who looks really, stunned right now. We talk Bloodhunt. Green recounts his experience trying to fix his own mouse, and we've got deals of the month. All of that and more in this week's episode of the podcast. The Poodcast. The Pidcast. Roll the podcast. Roll the intro. If I can find the button. I can't even apparently do this live or recorded.
He's so loud.
So the funny thing is that people can hear us talking underneath that in all the noises, which is just delightful. They can hear my snort and everything. Hello and welcome to Next to Nothing, a podcast for gamers on a budget. I'm your host, Danie K. With me, as always, the wonderful, the beautiful, the Mr. Green Elite. Green, how are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. I mean, we've been experiencing issues today with the internet service provider. Apparently, I'm not feeling it now, but Danie is. So, hence the recorded audio. But yeah, I'm doing all right. I can't complain. I'm alive. I'm breathing. How you doing, Danie?
You know, other than the surprise of not being able to stream the show tonight, what are you doing, Choco? Are you doing your best to fill Rev's shoes right now just by being weird?
I wouldn't dare.
I wouldn't dare. So anyways, yeah, guys, you are watching this either as a premiere or as just a regular video on YouTube because I can't stream tonight, apparently. I have reset my router and modem and no upload speed. Absolutely nothing. I'm not even getting one up, which means this will be really fun for you guys to watch later. Anyways, we're joined by Chocolade. Chocolade, for those who haven't met you yet, who are you, what do you do, and where can people find you?
Hi, my name is TheChocolade. I have been streaming on Twitch for 3 years now. Doesn't mean I'm any good at it. You can find me over there playing a great variety of games. It was the Assassin's Creed series for the longest time because I really enjoyed those, and I just kind of got burnt out on the Egypt one. Now I'm just kind of playing whatever my heart so desires. I'm not that funny on Twitter, but you can follow me there. Same thing, at ChocoladeH, I want to say. Instagram, TheChocolade, and other than that, I don't do a heck of a lot.
Excellent. Guys, links will be in the description of this episode if you want to find Chocolade in all the places he is. We appreciate you guys for watching and listening. If this is your first time with us, we hope that you guys enjoy and get a lot of value out of the show. If you do, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Every week we have a question of the week. This week brought to... Actually, first, I want to talk about last week because we did get some questions on... we did get some answers on last week's question of the week. And that was... Our question of the week last week was... what is the worst household chore to do? And so we got some very interesting answers. Also, guys, thank you very much for... last week's episode did gangbusters. We hit our goal. You guys are fantastic. Green has to play Phasmophobia. He's not going to be alone. I'm going to play Phasmophobia with him.
I'm not going to thank anyone, okay? I'm sorry. I love you. I love you all. The community for Next to Nothing has been fantastic, but you guys are horrible people.
And all together, 1, 3, you're welcome, Green.
I have regrets, and I will never not have regrets ever again.
So last week's question of the week, like I said, what is the worst household chore to do? Casual Knowledge said, agreed, never fold clothes. OMG, Indy and GF stay doing that to me, putting their laundry in my loads, LOL. So I think that's Indy's roommate saying that Indy makes him do his laundry. Jace Duncan said, cleaning the bathrooms is the worst for me, which I agree. That is a pretty bad one, especially if you have to do the shower or the tub.
Oh, yeah, it's really shitty. Finger guns.
So, yeah, that was last week's question of the week. This week, our question of the week brought to us by Mr. Chocolade. And this is a really contentious one. Like, we've had contentious questions of the week in the past.
Oh, you know what my favorite one was?
What's that?
What would it be like if Zelda was a girl?
Yeah,
That was my favorite one.
that was a great one. So this one's even more contentious than that, and that is Team Jacob or Team Edward? Team Jacob or Team Edward?
I'm a team Taylor Lautner simp, so yeah, it's gonna have to be Jacob.
That is, he is a pretty man.
He was a pretty man.
Was.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean he's gotten older and he's lost his allure to me.
But haven't we all though?
Yeah, he's no Ryan Reynolds,
Hmm.
Ryan Reynolds is ageless as well as Keanu Reeves. So
could we recast Twilight with Keanu Reeves and Ryan Reynolds being Edward and Jacob?
who would be Jacob and who would be Edward?
It's a great question.
That would be tough. That would be very tough.
It's very tough. So let us know in the comments, Team Jacob or Team Edward, or you guys can tweet at me. Tweet it. That's at Danie, DANIECAE. And yeah, let us know. Team Jacob or Team Edward. Go on ahead and let us know. Other than that, if you guys miss any part of the show, which I don't know if you would this week because we're doing it we're doing it recorded. You guys can also find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and when the internet works, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Central Time on Twitch. Choco, my friend.
Yes.
You got your hands on a game.
I do have internet. That's right. Yeah. I do.
You do have internet that works.
Yeah. Sorry, I can't help. All that freedom down there must be blocking the airwaves or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you use that internet that you have to play Bloodhunt. Tell us about Bloodhunt.
So this is a magical mystery game. I had no idea until a buddy of mine told me, hey, it's dropping at 1 a.m. this morning as of last night, the 7th. What do you call it? Today? Early today? And it's part of the Vampires the Masquerade universe, and they just up and dropped a BR.
I remember vaguely hearing about this. Like somewhere in the recesses of my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember like hearing that Vampire the Masquerade was going to get like a battle royale. And that was it. Like that's all I remember like hearing about anything.
Yeah. But this is a quieter release than Apex because I was looking at the news on Steam and they announced it Monday and then 12 hours later it was released for beta.
Really?
Their marketing team needs to get fired.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, with Apex's release was like they had a press release, and then at the end of the release, they're like, "Oh, by the way, this is live."
Yeah.
So, at least I gave like a 12-hour warning, I guess.
But it wasn't like a big broadcast. Hey, we're releasing a game in 12 hours. I had to look back and find that like, oh yeah, well, this will be in beta soon.
Oh, by the way.
Yeah, like I'm seeing gameplay videos from like 2 months ago, but that's like as far back as it seems to go.
That'd be alpha testing, right? Or like closed beta, I guess.
Something, yeah. Something. Yeah, so tell us about the game itself. Like how does it work? How does like all that good stuff about the game?
So from what I've found so far, it's kind of a blend of Hyperscape and Fortnite. If you played Hyperscape, it's a very vertical game. In the intro, they're like, hey, just so you know, you can climb any wall that you can see. There's a bunch of movement abilities that enhance that as well. There's a super leap. There's like a teleport kind of thing, all those stuff. Climb up any wall. If you ADS while you're in midair, it kind of slows down time a little bit for you, give you a bit more reaction, which is kind of fun. But basically, you got 6 different archetypes, they're called. And so it's basically 2 in each of the classic warrior class, rogue class, and mage. So your warriors are brute and vandal, and they have like that super leap attack I talked about. One of them has like a bullet shield they can throw forward. The other one just slams the ground. It's like the tank build. Then they're called the Bruja type of vampires, if you're familiar with the universe. The Nosferatu are the most kind of like Ralph Fiennes Voldemort looking motherfuckers that we have. Um, like the nose is missing, all gray skin, like the classic Nosferatu look. And that's the Saboteur and the Prowler. And they've got like turn invisible and dash forward for a short ways. One of them throws a poison bomb kind of thing, very much like the rogue essence. And then the Toreadors, which are like the mage class, are basically we're hot, deal with it. So they'll throw forward a copy of themselves that they can teleport to, do a bunch of other kind of confusing things, very much illusion setup. But based on those 6 characters, you can only choose one per person, and you jump in teams of 3, if that makes sense. So basically, Apex like character choice. You get 10 seconds to choose your character. You can't have duplicates. Yeah, it's basically it for intro gameplay. They got network tests up from today, September 7th, until the 13th. And they're doing maintenance on the 14th, and then it reopens on the 15th of September. So if you want to play sooner, get on it. If not, you got to wait.
Yeah. Now, I do have questions just watching the gameplay here, but I also do want to get the specs out real quick.
Yes.
If anyone who's interested in playing this, the minimum specs require 64-bit processor and operating system, Windows 10 or newer if you're watching this in the future. Intel i5 7400, AMD Ryzen 1300X or better for a processor. You need 8 gigs of RAM, an NVIDIA GTX 970 or Radeon RX 580 or better for graphics card. Need DirectX 11, 20 gigs of hard drive space, and a broadband internet connection. So hopefully one that works on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
Sorry. So like I'm watching the gameplay here,
Mhm.
and it looks like you load in as like a team or as an individual, and like I just saw like the player like go and eat somebody. Like, do you have to like
Yeah.
murk NPCs in order like to continue?
So core gameplay loop is basically your standard BR. The map slowly closes. Initial spawn, you don't drop out of a plane. You just pick where you want to appear, and it just drops you there. And then there's 2 types of NPC characters. There's your victims, we'll call them. So I don't know if it shows in the gameplay, but you can activate your heightened senses and scan around for weapons or NPCs. And so basically, that's your main source of healing. If you get damaged too bad, you start out with a 200 health pool. Eating a human takes time, but it will regain your full 200 health points. That being said, the other thing is if you kill a human with like a gunshot or something like that, it actually breaks the masquerade, they call it, which I guess is canon in the universe. I haven't played enough of it to know. But it actually paints your outline red for every other enemy to see because you broke the masquerade. So it's something you want to avoid doing is damaging NPCs. The second type of NPC is stupidly overpowered, will kill you within 2 seconds, and has automatic weaponry when you spawn in with a pistol. So don't fuck with them. Just leave them alone, avoid them. Otherwise, you know.
Is that like NPC like a cop or something, or is that like a vampire hunter? Or?
It's, I guess you'd call them the army. They're like a private militia just kind of hanging out because they know something's going on. Again, I'm not super familiar in the lore of the universe, but I have in my notes, don't fuck with AI equals death.
Very descriptive. Talk about the gunplay. How are the guns? Are they good? Are there like enough of them, or are they?
I would
Yeah.
say so. So even though this is beta build, I want to say there's like 20, 25 different weapon types as of right now. They all feel good. They're all hit scan as far as I can tell. So there might be some, but it compensates for the fact that your bullets travel really fast by having insane amounts of damage fall off. To the point where, like, from 100 yards, I tried hitting someone with, they have an LMG in there. It looks like the MG32 from COD. I tried hitting someone with an LMG and it did like 1 damage to them, as opposed to normally doing 25 per hit, and that was only at 100 yards. So unless you're using a sniper, it's very limited in ranged combat. But time to kill feels good. It's not like an insta kill. Was it in COD like an average of half a second was time to kill or something like that.
Damn near.
Yeah. No,
Like-
this you can have decent gunfights. There's enough verticality that you can't. It takes long enough to kill someone that you can kill a team. But also, if a third party comes in, you have time to turn and face them as well, instead of instantly getting murked like you do in Apex or classic Warzone scenario, which feels good. Like you have proper gunfights instead of just, oh, okay, I'm dead.
Yeah. And then how do the powers, like, do the powers seem to have like major impacts on battles?
I would say yes. So your first one is usually like a movement ability. In the brute class, it's that super jump. In the rogue class, just for lack of a better term, I don't remember the exact word, but for ease, for the brute class, it's the super jump. For the rogue class, it's that you turn invisible and basically travel as an invisible mist really fast. But you still have full control over movement. And then for the witches or the mage, or is it Toreador? You throw a projection of yourself forward, and then you can cast again to teleport to that and then keep momentum. So your first ability is always movement. I think it's got a 25-second cooldown, and then your second ability is either some type of damage or defense. So the brute throws forward a shield. It'll do damage as it passes through enemies, but it also blocks incoming bullets, but you can shoot through it from the other way. So it's a moving wall. There's a slam attack. There's a lava poison gas grenade, kind of like a caustic trap that sits in an area, does damage. Decent tick rate instead of 1. Fucking caustic nerf. Still upset. Sorry.
As I say, that felt like you're very upset.
Yeah, it all feels good. The abilities mesh well. It's not like it wasn't like in Hyperscape where you got one ability and you just wipe everyone off the map with it. Everyone's got the same abilities, but there are certain NPCs where if you scan them, they'll blow up like purple or orange or something like that, and they'll actually give you more passive abilities. So there's one that gives you health regen, another one that drops the cooldown on your movement abilities, drops the cooldown on something else. Just like small benefits. You can carry up to 3 additional passive benefits. Yeah, other than that, it's still very gunplay focused, and then it's complemented by the abilities instead of leading with an ability and then you finish a guy off with a tap in the head kind of thing. It's the other way around, which is nice.
Yeah. So I'm seeing right now it's free to play. How was the was it like forcing the store in your face? How, like, were there microtransactions, battle pass, stuff like that?
So there is immediately a battle pass. It doesn't. I wouldn't say it pushes it on you necessarily. Like it's not a nasty pop up, but as you're running around in the main menu, which is kind of like a lobby in itself, you just kind of run around, talk to people. I'm sure they'll develop the NPCs at some point. But you've got your challenges on the left side, the battle pass tracker on the left side, and then some stats on the right. And other than that, there's not a whole lot. But if you hit escape or tab, it'll instantly pull up the battle pass info. So it's there, but it's not so much like a mobile game where you're going to accidentally click on it and oh shit, now I spent $40.
Yeah. And then I had one last question, and I'll turn it over to Green. Where would you like put this like tier wise in the like battle royale hierarchy? Is this towards the top? Is this going to be like in the bottom, or is this going to be kind of like forgotten in the middle?
As it stands now, it's got a good start. I know there's network issues because it's a brand new game and they're technically just doing server tests right now as the beta stand. The what do you call that? The beta testing they're doing right now is basically for servers.
Mm-hmm.
But my first game, I got paired with a guy from Brazil, and I'm on West Coast North America. So the connection wasn't great in that match, but other than that, it seems okay. I've had a couple of floating enemies where their animations aren't playing when they're moving. Other than that, the only other issue I had was you have to really hunt for the quit button.
That's
You have to go through 3 or 4 stages of a different menu to find the quit button instead of just hitting escape and logging off.
really.
Yeah, so not quite Fallout 76, where you couldn't uninstall the game, but you know.
Green. Thoughts, questions, opinions?
Did he have fun?
I did have fun. I
That's
did
my
have fun.
biggest question. Like, does it
Yeah.
feel fun?
It does feel fun. I'm probably gonna hop back on after we're done recording this, actually.
Dang.
Yeah.
Dang. So people should check it out if they got the chance.
Absolutely. It's a free to play. There's no reason you shouldn't check it out. It's only like 17 gigs, so it's not like it's gonna devour your hard drive either.
Looking at you, Warzone.
Yeah, there's no. I don't want to be too sales pitchy about it, but there's no reason not to try it if you've got the specs for it. I've got a GTX 1060, and I've got 0 issues running it. So
I don't have any
Excellent.
other questions. So
yeah.
Well, let's go on ahead and from Vampire the Masquerade to Cultic. Kind of keep it in the spoopy realm here. I played the Cultic demo, which was pretty interesting. Cultic is another retro shooter from JZOS Games, and it's going to be published by 3D Realms, who also brought us Ion Fury most recently. They've been around for a while. Like, they're one of like those classic publishers. I actually was looking at their website earlier. They have some free games, like some really old like Atari-esque games on their website for free if you wanted to check those out.
Sorry, you said JZOS?
Yeah, JASOZZ.
Like praise JZOS?
I don't know. Is that how you pronounce that? JASOZZ? JZOS?
Maybe?
Or JZOS?
JZOS 2 cents, yeah.
God damn it. So, yeah, I like I said, I played the demo, and had actually a pretty good time with it. The demo took me about 20-ish minutes. At the end, I got 97 out of 101 kills. I only found 2 secrets, though, so there is some replayability and exploring to be had in the demo. I would say this is definitely one of those things, until the full game comes out, you could burn an afternoon on this. The game so far looks like it's only going to be available on Windows, but you don't need a high-end machine to play it. The specs are 64-bit processor and operating system, Windows 7 or newer, and 8 gigs of RAM. That's all you need to run it. So, not intense at all. Game runs very, very well. We'll start with the aesthetics of the game rather than the mechanics this time around. The game has a very dark, gritty pixel art style with lots of grays, dark blues, and browns. Very, very dark. And kind of grimy. The demo takes place in an industrial facility / mine, with large industrial trucks, crates, and other pieces of equipment around the map. There's even an area where cultists, like, they set up like a camp, and they just apparently take naps in tents. Everything works well together. There was like nothing that like seemed like super out of place, which was pretty nice. The weapons in the game are very retro as well. Very post World War II and Cold War era. The handgun, I'm not sure what the handgun is exactly modeled after, but it looks like a Luger to me. There's also a Sten submachine gun, and I always find like retro shooters always have the like what's gonna be like our unique melee weapon, right? Like what's like the one thing that they're always gonna have. In this game, it's a hatchet, which you can lob at. You can lob too. There's there's enemies with hatchets, so you can just kind of tomahawk your hatchet and take guys out that way too. There's also a sawed-off shotgun, dynamite, and that's all that I was able to get my hands on. Enemies, they look like pretty standard cult members with robes and shadowed faces and like glowing red eyes. The color of the robes does seem to determine like the kind of enemy you're dealing with. Like I think the red guys have handguns and like the blue guys have hatchets, kind of thing. The sound design of the game is good, very fitting for the game and its aesthetics as well. If I had to describe how the game looked, felt, and sounded with one word, I would have to say crusty. And I mean that in a good way.
I was gonna say good crusty or bad crusty.
A good crusty. Everything kind of has like visually what feels like dried mud, blood, and rust all over it. It has like this charming feeling of being older than what it actually is, and it works very well here.
And sorry, because I can't see, what's the sort of aesthetics is it? Are we talking like 16-bit side scroller?
Well, it's a first-person shooter.
Okay.
Very, very retro shooter, kind of like Doom.
Oh, like 1964 Doom kind of, or 1964 Nintendo 64 Doom, Doom 64.
Maybe a little bit more recent. Here, I'll share to you the what I'm using for the video here, but yeah, very
like
Doom or Quake,
3D
Wolfenstein.
Kind of
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, anything kind of like along those lines. In terms of how in terms of how it feels or how it operates, I should say, it's a lot like those other retro shooters. There's no aim down sights. There's no intense recoil. Movement is like super smooth with plenty of inertia carrying you through jumps and slides. The weapons are accurate. They feel pretty good. They give good feedback. And they get the job done in a very satisfying way. I will say for my playthrough of the demo, I did play it just in casual, just to see how it felt and operated. So I didn't see how intense it can get. But the game does boast on its Steam page, like the idea of like combat your way. They say like you can sneak, set traps, and sabotage, or just like pick people off from like, from like concealed positions. It says you can run and gun if you want. It also says you can get enemies to annihilate each other by maneuvering between them in combat. So like running around in like a circle, apparently like a berserker, and just like waiting for them to like gun each other down. I didn't experience anything like that. I don't think. I certainly do know that there was a couple enemies who took themselves out with explosives. That happened. My personal approach to the demo was I chose the run and gun approach, maybe being more like a barbarian here and running around with the hatchet. I found in casual mode is really easy just to like go up and like dome guys with a hatchet, which was fun. The like overall, I found this demo especially to be really fun. Very fantastic. Very fantastic demo. I think this game is definitely worth checking out. And if you're looking to burn an afternoon, this is something that you could certainly pick up on any sort of PC. I definitely want to see more from it, and I don't know what a release date. I didn't see a release date yet, so I'm filing this away under the check back later. So yeah.
Sorry, did you say what platform it was on, or what?
Just Windows.
Launcher? Just Windows.
Steam
Gotcha.
Specifically, yeah. At least so far, that's all I found it on. It might be available elsewhere, but yeah, that's that. Do you guys have any other thoughts, questions, opinions?
I don't. It watching the video that you sent. It looks pretty straightforward. Yeah.
You're very succinct.
Yeah, it's these retro shooters are becoming vastly popular again. It seems these boomer shooters. So yeah, that's Cultic. Nothing to fix there. Green. Tell me about how you
Ooh,
tried to
nice,
fix your
nice.
mouse.
Nice.
Wow. Okay, so a little under 2 years ago, it was November 2018, I believe. Maybe 2019. Yeah, 2019. I picked up a Logitech G604. Fantastic mouse. I think I did a review on it. Back then you can look in one of the older episodes to hear the review. I noticed a few months ago I started having issues with my right click where the right click wouldn't hold while I'm doing like an aim down sight for like first person shooters. It initially wasn't like a huge issue, like it didn't happen very often, but it got to the point where like I couldn't play games very well because it was continuously happening. So, do you have a question?
Did you try getting good?
No. I'm perfect as is. Okay.
Okay. Noted.
So yeah, I contacted Logitech. It took me forever to actually figure out that I needed to call Logitech. Because their website was like, oh, enter this in and tell us what's wrong. We'll contact you under the contact thing. Which I realized after the fact that it was leading me to some forums on how to troubleshoot myself. So it was more of a user error on my part. I should have just called them to begin with. So when I called, they went through the troubleshooting process and then determined that the mouse switch itself was going out. Upon further research, I found out that the switches that they use for this 604 and a lot of the newer mice that they've been producing is a switch called an Omron switch, which doesn't last as long as like other normal switches do, because they were manufactured in China. Not saying that everything that comes from China sucks, but they don't have like a massive amount of like click time, just like every other switch. Every switch has like a certain lifespan of clicks. So they agreed to send me a new one, but then they told me that I could do whatever I want with the old one, which led me to spiral and buy a soldering kit, new Kale switches, and like all the unnecessary accessories to switch the switches out of this mouse. I even bought like those third hand helpers for the soldering kit. I got them in relatively fast. I ordered them on Amazon. I did it live on stream. First time I've ever done a switch change. I'm not very good at soldering. I do have to say the taking apart the 604 was a bitch. Like it was a lot of tiny little screws. I even bought a soldering mat, by the way. A silicone heat resistant soldering mat that had like little holes, or like little cups that you can put like screws and stuff into. I think my biggest issue is like I should have taken pictures of like each time I took a layer off, because I ended up coming up with 3 extra screws that I don't know where they belong to. But like getting in there was difficult, because I have massive hands as it is. If you have smaller hands, if you have a lot more patience than I do, then I would assume it wouldn't be as much of a problem. Taking out the switches, it's on the actual 604 was kind of a pain as well, because they were soldered in. So I had to heat the soldering, like the soldering. I had to add extra soldering onto the switches or the prongs, and then essentially heat the prongs to melt the initial soldering. While the video that I watched said not to pull, just to like heat them up, like, and give it like a little push with the soldering iron while you're doing it, but don't do it too long because it could damage the board. And I ended up like using some pliers and heating them up and then like trying to pull while it was hot. I don't think I damaged the PCB. It was acting a little funky after I put everything back together. After like maybe a day of use, but I don't know if that was because of a signal issue, or if I messed something up. Honestly, if it's your first time doing any soldering work, especially with like computer components or PCB boards and stuff like that, I don't recommend it. If you have experience soldering and stuff like that, then I would give it a try. The switches were relatively cheap. I think I got a 4-pack for like $12, and they were Kales, which is a company that makes a lot of nice switches. Like I've considered putting Kale switches in my keyboards. The click was really nice. They were GMO 4.0s. Honestly, I think they're quieter than my old switches. Like I have the replacement here. I don't know if you can pick it up, but for the original switches, can you pick that up? Can you hear it?
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, can we get a zoom in on his face, please?
I kind of get it a little bit, but not much. I'm sorry.
Okay, you're gonna have to take my word. It's a little bit quieter. Okay.
I heard them. I heard them.
Okay, it was a little bit quieter. They feel good. I just don't personally know if I messed them up. Another big thing that I would recommend, like if you decide to change your own switches on a mouse like this or similar, is to like look up the skates that come on the bottom, like the little smooth bits on the bottom that cover exactly on Choco's view. Look up replacements for them, because once I peeled them off, they didn't like go back on exactly the same. Almost to the point where they want to like come off again. So that might be something you would want to replace as well. It's like a general maintenance kind of thing. But all in all, like I personally would probably do it again just for the experience. One thing I do have to say is I really hope mice companies like start moving into the whole hot swappable switch scene, like keyboards are doing right now. Just a lot of keyboard manufacturers see the value in having the easy access to take switches out and replace them, especially if they manufacture their own switches as well. So I know Asus does have a mouse that is hot swappable for the switches, but I don't know if haven't seen any companies like actually producing any hot swappable mouses other than Asus.
Yeah.
So might be something for Logitech to look into, especially if you're gonna use cheap Chinese switches. Logitech, I'm looking at you.
Yeah. So, question for you, because I don't know, and I'm going to apologize for making you repeat yourself here. How much was all of the supplies together?
The necessary supplies, or
yeah, the necessary supplies.
Okay, necessary supplies. I found an Amazon kit on Amazon with the soldering iron and stuff. I think it was like $23, and then the switches themselves were 12 and some change. I can tell you exactly. Just give me 1 second.
So,
Amazon.
Would you think overall, like to make the repair, you're looking at maybe a $60 investment?
I would say more in like the $40 range. Unless you already have like the soldering iron.
Mm-hmm.
I made it a $60 investment. Okay, so The soldering kit that I bought was actually $16.95.
Okay.
And it was a full kit, came with like extra pieces for the soldering iron. Came with the soldering wire, tweezers, uh, desoldering pump, which was fun to play with because it's essentially like it's a little poof of air to push the hot soldering out of the hole.
Hmm.
I know this sounds like very, very sexual innuendo, but yeah, it came in a little bag and stuff like that. Like it has like its own carrying case and stuff like that. Um, but if you already
Oh,
have a soldering iron, all you have to do is spend the $12 for the switches.
Mm-hmm. So everything in hindsight now, right? You made the purchase of all the gear. This was something that you wanted to try to do. Do you recommend somebody try to do it themselves to like try to save a few bucks, or
If you're clumsy, impatient, and have big hands, probably not.
fuck.
I always recommend that everyone have a soldering kit because soldering kits are relatively space convenient, and there's like a lot of stuff that you can do with soldering kits. Not necessarily just for mouse repair. If you're just getting it for mouse repair, it's either buy a new mouse or have it professionally repaired. But like if you're into like you want a new hobby and you like working with electronics and stuff like that, and you know how switches work and soldering and all that, it's a great hobby. I felt like it was really fun. I don't regret doing it. But if you're, as I said, really impatient, then I honestly probably wouldn't recommend it.
gotcha.
Soldering is weird.
Yes, chocolate.
Chocolate. You don't have to raise your hand, my guy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I figured I'd be polite because the next part won't be so polite. If you were to say recommend a mouse for someone to buy, would you recommend the Hero 604 anymore now that you've done this?
Yeah, I still would.
Hmm.
I still highly recommend the Logitech GS604. They dropped it, I think $40. It's at like $60 right now, or $69.99. It has the 6 buttons on the side. As I said, I have massive hands. It fits my hand very well. Like I'm using the replacement mouse. Like I'm not using the one that I've repaired. I might use the one that I've repaired just to see, double check that I didn't fuck something up. But it is a good mouse. I mean, as I said, switches go out over time. It's unavoidable. I've had the Logitech G700S. It's like the predecessor to the 604. Still, it uses like the laser optical eye, and that's the only reason I had switched off of this, is because the response time with a wireless optic mouse from I want to say 12 years ago, 15 years ago, just cannot keep up. It's not the same as one of the nice new fancy mice that has a lot less latency and stuff like that. This one had different switches installed in it. I don't know exactly which switches they put in there, but they're still going strong. I use this on my stream PC. I use this for editing, everything like that, because it doesn't need to be a massively super fast, strong mouse for editing. But I fucking love this thing. And, this spawned this, the 604. So I still wholeheartedly recommend the 604. Just be aware that the switches may not last as long as something that you've had before. I think it's rated up to like 4 million clicks or something like that. And like the old switches used to be like 5 to 6 million range. So that's still a lot of fucking clicks. A lot of keyboards don't have a high click count either. So when you're going into mechanical switches and stuff like that, that is something you do have to be aware of, that there is a click like life expectancy. That is hard to fucking say.
Say it 5 times fast.
I can't even say it once. So the switches are something that you're gonna have to expect to either change out. With mice, that's the biggest issue because a lot of mice are like proprietary style where you're not supposed to be able to switch out the switches. So they a lot of them are made to be difficult because like they would rather you just buy a new mouse. And a lot of I've looked at websites where like they like, hey, I'll replace those for you, like a professional do it, and it's I would say like a little bit less than if you were just to buy the new mouse. So, but it's a good skill to have, especially if you're in love with a certain mouse that you've had for a long time, and you don't want to change to something because a lot of people suggest mice to me all the time, but I have a particular way or orientation of mouse that I like, and that's a lot of side buttons, and a little bit on the heavier side because as I said, I have bare paw hands. So yeah,
Bear paw hands.
bare paw. I think I have the other switches too. Yes, I had gotten 4, so I still have these tiny little switches. So chaos.
So, anything else on repairing your own gaming mouse?
Not that I can think of.
No.
Don't go crazy. Like unless you're gonna make it like a hobby, don't go crazy and buy like a whole bunch of accessories that you don't need.
Yeah.
In my opinion, like I didn't need the mat. The mat was cool. I didn't need the fourth arm with a magnifying glass and an LED light, but it's cool. So yeah, just be leery. You can spiral.
How much
Especially
of what you
when-
bought was inspired by that toy guy from Toy Story 2?
I didn't even think about that when I purchased it. Yeah, that'd be kind of that's actually a good reference. You want to be like that guy that repairs Woody.
Be like just do a cosplay of him. You got all the stuff now.
There's this guy on TikTok that does needling, and he has these glasses that have like magnification glasses, and his eyes are massive, and I love it. Like I wish I could get those, but I have a very specific prescription.
With your specialize.
My specialize.
So, Green, you have special eyes. Can you see what kind of deals we got coming up this month?
Oh, deals of the month.
Deals of the
Danie,
month.
what do you got for Twitch?
So Amazon Prime Gaming. Ending on September 30th, you can pick up Knockout City on Origin. You can get Tools Up. That ends on October 1st. Sam & Max Hit the Road ends on October 1st. Puzzle Agent, once again, ends on October 1st. Candleman, The Complete Journey ends on October 1st. Unmemory ends on October 1st. And Secret Files 2, Puritas Cordis ends on... You guys want to guess?
September 25th.
October 1st.
Damn.
I don't know. None of those, like, the Sam & Max one, maybe. I don't know. None of these really did anything for me. They didn't
Candleman
arouse
looks
me.
cute.
What's that?
Candleman looks cute.
Yeah. I don't know. They didn't arouse me really at all. Epic Games, Yoku's Island Express, which I swear to God, I have said Yoku's Island Express like 10 other times during this segment in the past. I saw
If you
that.
don't have it by now, then shame.
Yeah, I swear to God, I've seen this come up in our Deals of the Month several times. But you can get Yoku's Island Express through September 9th. And then starting on September 9th through September 16th, you can pick up Sheltered. Also, we have like a lot of deals of the month that I wanted. Like I added like 2 new platforms this week. to our thing, so I've got a lot to get through before we get into PlayStation and Xbox. Humble Bundle. The Best of Stealth Bundle ends September 8th. 8 items for $35. You can pick that up. Also, as transparency's sake, and if you want to help support the show, we are Humble Bundle affiliates. The Humongous Entertainment Back to School Bundle is on sale right now. 37 items, including Pajama Sam, Putt Putt, and Freddy Fish games for $14. That ends on September 17th. The D3 Publisher sale ends on Saturday the 11th, and the Dead by Daylight franchise sale ends on the 19th. Links will be in the description. If you guys want to help support the show, you can use our links. GOG currently has RPG Month going with up to 90% off on select RPG games, including the Witcher series, Dragon Age, Greedfall, and more. And kind of like across several platforms, 505 Games has their 15th anniversary sale. On GOG, there's 75% select off select games. I would personally recommend buying them from GOG if at all possible, because they're DRM free. And then they have a weekly sale, which includes Oxenfree, Testament of Sherlock Holmes, Foxtail, and Guard Duty. The next platform, we haven't talked about this platform. This is actually one I just found this week. It's called Green Man Gaming. They have their end of summer sale, which ends September 10th. And then they also, I didn't see this, or I haven't heard about this before in the gaming space, but there is a 15% student discount that they offer, but it excludes items that are already on sale. So if you're interested in that, go check that out. That actually seems like a pretty good deal. And then checking out Fanatical, they have a couple bundles going on right now. There's a Build Your Own Bumper Gems that you can add up to 10 games for $5 on this bundle. So you build your own bundle. And that includes Cat Quest, Hue, and Savage Lands, and more. There's the Build Your Own Gems bundle. I'm sorry, I believe the first one was Build Your Own Bumper bundle, and then there's the Build Your Own Gems bundle. Again, add up to 10 games for $5, and it can include Creepy Tale, Dungeons 2, Lovecraft's Untold Stories, and more. And then they had the Summer Mystery Bundle, which ends actually tomorrow from when this podcast is getting recorded, where you get 10 mystery keys for $7. Green Elite, what do they got coming up on Xbox?
Well, Xbox Games Pass for September. Games coming September 2nd for console, PC, and cloud. Craftopia, Final Fantasy VIII, Signs of the Sojourner, Surgeon Simulator 2, Access All Areas. Crown Trick comes September 7th for console and PC. Breath Edge comes September 9th for console, PC, and cloud. As well as Nuclear Throne, The Artful Escape. Yeah, those are the ones September 9th. September 16th gets I Am Fish and Skatebird. September 17th is Origami 2. Origami? Not Origami, Origami. I've never heard of that one.
Origami?
Origami. Yeah. A-R-A.
It's a ninja game very much focused on moving from shadow to shadow.
Damn.
Close.
September 23rd gets Sable. September 28th is Lemnis Gate. And then September 30th is Astra Ascending. Astria Ascending. Astria. And that's for console.
Cool. What's coming up on PlayStation then?
Good golly. PlayStation 5 is getting Overcooked All You Can Eat. And then for PlayStation 4, Hitman 2 and Predator Hunting Grounds. I've heard good things about the Predator game. And then Hitman 2. I mean, everyone knows about Hitman, so not bad for PlayStation. So
yeah, taking a quick look at the Nintendo eShop.
Boy,
What's that?
it's there. I said, oh boy, good deals there.
Yeah, there's never bundles, but doesn't look like there aren't like it doesn't look like there aren't like bad deals here. Like you can get Slay the Spire for looks like half off right now. I don't know how long it's gonna last. Monster Harvest for $5 off. Turnip Boy commits tax evasion, $5 off. Let's see. There is the 505 Games anniversary sale is happening over there right now.
Also for PlayStation, if I'm reading this right,
Yeah.
if you have a PlayStation 5, they're offering up what they call the PlayStation Plus collection, which is, quote, a collection of generation-defining PlayStation 4 games is available for free if you own a PlayStation 5, which includes, but not limited to, God of War, Bloodborne, The Last of Us Remastered, and Persona 5.
It's actually pretty big. I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one. So yeah,
But who owns a PS5?
You're right.
All 5 people are going to be super excited.
So yeah, that's actually a pretty decent month right now, as all things considered, and with the end of summer sales right now, I think that's a good time to jump on, especially if you're looking for some stuff to play. As the weather gets cold and we'll all be forced back inside. So. And eventually Choco will be buried under snow. By the way, if it wasn't made clear by his voice and his cracks at America, Chocolade lives in Canada.
It's not that strong of a fucking accent, okay? Fuck's sake.
Oh, it's noticeable.
You can hardly fucking tell.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So, yeah, deals of the month. Not bad this month. Not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys, just out of curiosity, because I did pick up some stuff on the Humble Bundle Summer, on the Humble Bundle Summer Sale. Did you guys pick up anything in the last couple weeks?
No.
Yes. What did I get?
Playing like the same games over and over again. Hunt Showdown is 50% off, by the way.
There you go.
Yeah.
Guys, if you haven't picked up Hunt Showdown, I think everyone on the podcast right now absolutely fucking adores Hunt Showdown.
Yeah.
I love that game.
There is the Back for Blood open beta.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's open right now.
Mm-hmm. From the first guys that made Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, I think New World is going back into beta right now too.
September 28th, I believe.
And then they're not doing codes. You just apply to get into the beta.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah. So from the Humble Bundle Summer Sale, I did pick up the Outer Worlds and Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Ooh, Kingdom Come's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to
Kingdom come real good.
Kingdom does come real good.
From the time of recording this, though, I do have to mention the Hunt Showdown sale ends in 16 hours. That's September 7th at 8:06.
September 7th?
I'm saying right now is September 7th, yes. 8:06 p.m. Central Standard Time. So 15 hours and 53 minutes from now that Hunt Showdown thing will go. So I'm sure by the time you're listening to this, hopefully you make it in time. I would recommend Hunt Showdown.
Yeah. It is
over again.
We also need people to play with. So if you guys pick up Hunt Showdown and want to play with us,
we've resulted into picking up people from the streets.
Okay. Yeah, like me. Why do you think I'm here?
We met a very nice gentleman the other day.
We did.
Yes. So
let's go ahead and wrap up the show. Chocolade.
Oh, gosh.
Tell people who you are, what you do, where people can find you, all that good stuff.
Well, I'm the Chocolade, for those of you who didn't listen. And if you didn't listen then, you're still not listening now, so read my lips. I'm the Chocolade. You can find me on Twitch, less often than I'd like, but more often than I should, at twitch.tv/TheChocolade, CHOCOLADE. Lost you halfway. I play a variety of games, shooters, horror, puzzle, what have you, indie. Played through some Superliminal a while ago. That was good fun. DreadX Collection, Assassin's Creed, Bloodhunt more recently, Hunt more recently. Bunch of fun stuff. You can find me on Twitter at ChocoladeH, Instagram, whatever it is, at TheChocolade. I don't know Instagram. Yeah, that's about it.
Excellent. Guys, go check him out. Go give him some love and affection and attention. He deserves it. Green, what's coming up on your channel?
I need it.
I have been doing I've been focusing on Destiny right now. Been very much enjoying these weekly story that Destiny has been pumping out. Been working on TikTok content for Destiny as well. I'm still working on a YouTube video. I promise it's coming someday. Eventually, 10 years from now, we'll see. But you can follow me on all my socials on twitch.tv/Mr. Green Elite. TikTok is Mr. Green Elite. Well, everything's Mr. Green Elite except for Instagram, which is TTV Mr. Green Elite, because someone stole it from me and I'm not happy. I do have a linktree /Mr. Green Elite.
Hey, Green.
Yeah, where you can find all that stuff.
Where would I go if I was looking to buy real estate on Instagram?
You would go to Mr. Green Elite. Mr. Green, who works with Elite Properties, okay, on Instagram. You know, but if you want the cool video game Mr. Green Elite, it's TTV Mr. Green Elite. Yeah, or you can go to Linktree, and you can just click on the little thing on there, and it'll take you directly to me. And I also have an Etsy store where I sell coffee mugs, the antique coffee mugs from what my grandma left when she passed away. So if you want to look at cool coffee mugs or want to order a random one or one of the ones I post on there, that link is also on my link tree. So yeah.
Dope.
Danie, what's coming up on your show?
I'm trying to get a group together for Unfortunate Spacemen Friday or Saturday night. I'm not quite sure which. I'm still talking to people. It's looking like it might be Saturday night.
I also have to. I'm sorry, I have to cut in. I have to play Phasmophobia this week.
Right, you do.
Yeah,
you gotta play Phasmo this week.
I don't want it. If this YouTube video gets 50 views and 10 likes, I'll play Phasmophobia next week too. Throwing that challenge out there again because I like the numbers. I don't like the game, but I gotta do what I gotta do. I gotta take that bullet for y'all.
If there's a game you guys want to see me play, now mind you, I don't get scared like Green does, but it's really fun to watch me get cringed. So,
we can make you play League.
Oh God. You know what? That'll be next week's episode. Next week's episode, you guys can make me play League. Anyways, that's all I've got going on right now is Hunt Showdown. Whatever night I don't do Unfortunate Spacemen. Like I said, it's probably going to be like Saturday night that I do Unfortunate Spacemen. And then Sunday night, I finished up the main story of Metro Exodus. I am currently playing the DLC, and once I'm done with the DLC, I'm going to offer a full review on that game and the DLC. So look forward to that as well. Other than that, guys, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at DanieK, DANIECAE. You can find me on YouTube, which if you're watching this right now, you found my YouTube channel. Congratulations. Maybe hit subscribe. I'm very proud of you. Very happy. Very proud. Other than that, you guys can also find me on Twitch. Twitch.tv/DanieK, DANIECAE. Yeah, I think that's going to wrap up the show, guys. We appreciate you for joining, watching, and listening. It means a lot to us that you guys take the time to watch and listen every week. Don't forget the question of the week. This week it's Team Jacob or Team Edward. Gotta let us know. Mm-hmm. And I want to see a bloodbath in the comments. I really want to see a bloodbath in the comments on this one. If you guys missed any part of the show,
sub to Green Elite if you're Team Jacob, or sub to Danie if you're Team Edward.
Oh, Edward.
Oh.
so emotionally messed up for you. Oh.
You guys. That's a really good impression.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Shorty Wellmaker on TikTok nails it every time. It's chef kiss. Just,
yeah. So if you guys want to catch us on other platforms, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and when my internet works, you can catch us live on Twitch, twitch.tv/DanieK, live every Tuesday at 7 Central Time. If you want to help support the show, you guys can leave a like, subscribe, and comment, but the best way to help support the show is by sharing and telling your friends. Other than that, guys, thanks. Have a fantastic week. Love you. We'll talk to you guys again next week. Bye. Oh.
Keep fighting the good fight.
And keep fighting the good fucking fights. Bye.
I love you.
Fuck Apple?